Today I'm going to share with you a new technique that I've developed, and I've gone through quite a few trial and errors where this hasn't worked. But now I have perfected it and made it so it does work, and it comes out so much easier. And look at that effect. Beautiful. I love it. And it's really easy to do. Doesn't take too much time or effort, but the results are great if you follow just a few simple steps. So stick with me now and watch till the end to see what I make and how I make it. Firstly, what I need to do is pour some bases, and I'm going to be using the 4-hour demold by J Diction on this. Okay, so I've got my resin mixed up. Now, I might sound a little bit more muffled today than I did earlier, and that's because I'm using a new mask that apparently I can also talk through. So it saves me having to do voiceovers, and it's a full face mask with air that's flowing through it. So I've got all my colours mixed up now in my glitters and my mica powders. All I need to do is fill up the hearts and one of these as well. These can be turned into necklaces or hair clip holders and things like that. I will link everything I've used today in the description below, so don't worry, you'll be able to get hold of it ever so easily, so it saves you having the trouble of trying to find it. I want to just say a massive thank you as well to all my members whose names are coming up now. And if you'd like to become a member of the channel and benefit from all the perks, including the live streams and the support and access to me, then the link for that is in the description below. We do have a great time in the membership. So I'm pouring this in nice and gently because I don't want to introduce any additional bubbles or anything like that into it. And leaving that there to cure. I will go over it with my long neck lighter in a moment. I am going to mix up some more clear resin as well and cure that in there. Now, I love this holographic glitter. The other thing is with this 4-hour demold resin, because it's a thicker resin to start with, your glitter doesn't sink all the way down. And the last one is the mica powder. A huge thank you to all the people that got me a coffee last month. I know times are really difficult at the moment, so I can't tell you how much I appreciate you showing your appreciation for my videos. Everything that I get from the coffees goes straight back into the channel to be able to buy stuff. It allowed me to buy this new mask that I'm using and mold, and it really does just keep me going. You are going to love this technique. It is so simple now and it looks amazing. Well, these are all cured now, and all we need to do is take them out of the mold, and they've gone lovely and hard. And now this is where the magic happens. So what you need to get hold of is some of this crackle medium. It's really cheap, goes ever such a long way, and I will list it in the description below, so don't worry about that. Now, what I did learn is that you need to put a generous amount on. So don't be stingy with it. Put lots on everywhere where you want that crackle to be, because the more you have on of this, I found, the more crackles that you get. So I put on quite a heavy layer. And the other thing is, you must allow this to dry fully once it's on. Now, I couldn't be bothered to wait for it to dry naturally, so of course, what did I use? A hairdryer. And did it have any effect? Absolutely none whatsoever. Didn't stop it from crackling. So if you want to go ahead, put this somewhere warm or dry it with a hairdryer, then you go ahead and do that. A couple of these hearts, I'll actually paint the front. I haven't done that before, so I don't know what sort of effect that's going to give afterwards, but we can certainly take a look. Try and get an even coat without too many brush strokes in it. These are all dry now, and this is where we get to have the fun with the paint and get the crackle effect. What I learnt was, if you put the paint on and it's really thick paint, then you don't get much crackle look. You only get a tiny little bit. It's really important to water down your paint. The other thing that's really important is you must let this stage dry naturally rather than dry it with your hairdryer, because if you dry it with your hairdryer, you won't get that crackle. You won't get that crackle finish to it. I like to have the contrasting colours. You get much better effect with it. So I'm gonna, rather than brushing it on, I try to roll it on. So we'll leave that there and we'll let that dry. And we'll also do this one over the top as well. So again, rather than trying to brush it on, rolling it on, and then we'll let that dry. Now on these clear ones, you don't need a base colour because the actual colour itself will shine through really well. Look at those ones. They've already started to take on the look of the crinkle. Why can't I say that word? Crackle. There we go. What we'll also do is show you how to finish these and protect them against scraping this paint off or damaging them in any way. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll finish these off and then I'll show you what they all look like finished and then how to protect them. Well, these are all dry now, but they will need protecting because remember, this is acrylic paint on top of a resin, so they're going to need protecting. Now, the ones where they've got a flat back, got a flip back, I'm going to use the high viscosity UV resin by J. Diction, and the reason is this is a brilliant resin for doming, and I want these to kind of have a real nice dome to them. The great thing about this is you can go right up to the very edge with this and still get a deep dome, and the surface tension will prevent it from slipping over the edge of whatever it is you're doming. And I have to say, these have come out so pretty and they're really different as well. I've never seen this done before, and as I said, I played around with this technique quite a bit to get it right. So once I've done that first pour, I'll give it a quick burst for bubbles. If there's any bubbles that have come up or that are stuck to the bottom, I'll just move them using a micro brush with the actual tip of the micro brush taken off, and then pop the bubbles and then cure it up. Now I'm going to do this one, the domed one, differently with a different product, and I'll explain why I'm going to do that once this one's cured. This one I'm going to do with the low viscosity resin, and this is a thinner UV resin. Now don't brush too hard because you don't want to be rubbing off any of that acrylic paint that you've already put on there. Just go over it gently like this with a very soft brush. And what you'll find is that'll add enough UV resin to that to protect it without it changing or deforming the shape in any way. And you can see where you've been because it's glossy. And then once you've gone over everywhere, just give it a quick burst with the lighter. Leave it for about 2 or 3 minutes before you cure it up, because that way any lines and that you've put in using the paintbrush will disappear, and then cure it up. When you're finished, you can clean your brush out using 100% alcohol, and then it's good to go. So while these are curing, I'm going to go ahead and finish them all, and then I'm going to show you what they all look like finished. Well, these have all cured up lovely now, and I must admit, I do love how they've come out. It's almost like an animal print, and now with the resin over the top of them, they are absolutely never gonna go anywhere. That is in there permanently. Look at how that crackle looks on the clear one and on the back. I love that. The coaster came out really well. It does need another coat of the low viscosity one. That's the one where we put it over the front of it, and that's what it looks like from the back. Again, looks great. Now you might think by looking at that one that there is no actual crackle in it, but once you let the light go through it, you can really see those crackles. If you follow those simple rules, you won't ever have a problem with it either, because it will definitely crackle. It's if the paint's too thick and you don't put the base on thick enough that you have a problem. Don't forget, boot that like button. It really helps my videos to get out there. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so you don't miss out on any of my future videos and experiments and fun things to do. Take care. Enjoy your resin. Bye.